Hello everyone, welcome back to Tiny Kitchen Cooks. This is Cameron Kirk Rush here, and today we're going to be making another one of my favorite fall or autumn dishes. That is a pumpkin bacon bisque soup with a nice grilled cheese sandwich to go with that. So let's go over our ingredients first. We have the following. Obviously, the star of the show, this is pumpkin. This is a Japanese pumpkin. I'll show you what we're going to be doing with that shortly. We have any bacon of your choice. We have 2 tablespoons of butter for the soup and 1 tablespoon of butter for the sandwich. We have 1 medium-sized onion finely chopped. We have 3 cloves of garlic that we're going to mince. I'll bring this closer so that you can see that. This is about a half a teaspoon of salt, a pinch of black pepper, and a pinch of nutmeg. We have 100 grams of shredded Gouda and also about 100 grams of shredded sharp cheddar. Now 100 grams is about 1 cup. Now I've shredded more than that because we're going to put it into the soup, but then also the remaining amount we're going to use for our delicious grilled cheese to go with it. We have some locally sourced cream cheese. We're going to need about 4 pats of that. And we have 230 grams or about 1 cup of heavy cream. Also, we can't of course forget about our bread for our grilled cheese, or cheese toastie as they say in the UK. For this, I'm using a nice sprouted grain bread. So there you have it. That's all of our ingredients. First, of course, we have to prepare our pumpkins. So we're going to be taking out all the pulp and seeds. Do not throw away the seeds. We're going to roast those and use them to make pepitas or pumpkin seeds. So before we can put these into the air fryer, first I need to go ahead and scoop out all of the pulp and the seeds. So to do that, you can use any spoon you want really, but I like using a soup spoon just because it's got a little bit of leverage. So to do that, you simply take a container and we're going to just scrape thusly, going around like this. All right, and this is what we're left with. I'm going to go ahead and separate the seeds later and use those for the future to go ahead and roast them off to make pepitas or pumpkin seeds. But you'll see in a little bit, I've already got some that are pre-made. Also, to make this cook a little bit quicker and to make it a little bit more manageable in terms of putting it into the air fryer, I'm going to go ahead and slice these up into smaller segments. Alright, this is what we're left with. Next, I'll see you at the air fryer. Okay, I've got my air fryer preheated to 200 degrees centigrade, which is about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Obviously, I'm going to have to do this in batches. They're going to go into the air fryer for 15 minutes on one side, then flip them over, and they're going to go in for another 15 to 18 minutes on the other side. And into the air fryer they'll go. Set a timer for 15 minutes, and see you when we go to flip them. Alright, that's now been 15 minutes. Now I'm going to take them out of the air fryer, and I'm going to use some tongs for this because they're probably quite hot. And we're just going to give them a flip and then back in. Alright, now that I've given those a quick flip, they're going to go back in for another 15 to 18 minutes. They're already starting to be a little bit tender, and the smell is incredible. See you in a bit. Okay, we've got about a minute left. Once that's done, I'm going to put everything back onto the cutting board, and then we will go back into the tiny kitchen, and we will remove the rind, and we will puree into a nice pumpkin puree. And there we go. Let's take her out. These are nice and tender. As you can see, there's a little bit of blistering on them, but that's okay. I think that's going to add some flavor. And this is what we're left with. See you in the tiny kitchen. All right, using the same spoon that we used before, I'm just going to cut along the rind and take those off. So here we go. out that need just a little bit more time, we're going to put those back into the air fryer. And then once that's done, we're going to let everything cool off, and I'll see you then. Now that our pumpkin is cooled off, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to puree them in batches using a food processor or food chopper. And here we go. You have it. This is what we're left with, a nice beautiful puree of pumpkin. Next, we're going to add in our butter and aromatics. So here we go. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. We'll reserve the remaining third for our grilled cheese sandwich. Now, this is on medium heat. We don't want to burn it. We don't want to brown it. We just want it to melt. You're going to want to stir it constantly until everything is melted. And once everything is melted, you're going to want to turn it down to low heat. Now that our butter is melted, we're going to add in our aromatics. So here we go. Okay, now that you can see that's sizzling, into that we're going to add, first of all, our onion. All right, next we're going to add our garlic. There we go, and we're just going to let everything get nice and golden. Stirring occasionally. Now I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit because I want this to simmer and not fry. This is now on medium-low. And we're just going to let that reduce down until everything is nice and tender, and we'll go from there. See you soon. Okay, this is exactly what I was looking for. Some of our onions are nice and browned, and some of them are caramelized. I wanted something in between, so here we go. Okay, so I forgot one crucial ingredient, which is chicken stock. So, we've got about 600 milliliters of chicken stock, or about 2.5 cups, roughly. And we're going to add that into our hot pan. And we're going to give that a stir. And let it settle down and condense. Alright, now that we've allowed our soup base to reduce, this is more or less what we're left with. I'm just going to give that a quick stir. As you can see, everything is condensed down, and now we are prepared to add our other ingredients. First, we're going to add our pumpkin puree that we previously made. Alright, we'll go ahead and give that a stir. Alright, that's nice and incorporated now. Next, in goes our heavy cream. Just go ahead and pour that entire thing in. I'm going to increase the temperature just a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and incorporate all that cream we just added. Turn the heat up a little bit more. And we are going to add about half of our shredded Gruyere and sharp cheddar mixture. Go ahead and give that a stir. As you can see, that will slowly incorporate and melt and make it nice and thick. Alright, also at this point in time, this is completely vegetarian. We have not added our bacon yet. So if you don't want meat in yours, you could just leave it here. And the last thing we need to add is our salt, nutmeg, and ground black pepper. We're just going to add that right in. Now, this doesn't have a whole lot of salt right now. We may need to add more later. Add, of course, always to your taste. Next, we're going to just go ahead and cover and allow everything to melt and come together. While we're doing that, we're going to go and get our bacon broiled off. Alright, I've already got my rack lined with aluminum foil. Next, we're just going to take our bacon and we're going to place it on there and then put it in the broiler. It should take between 5 and 10 minutes. And into the broiler it goes. See you in a bit. Alright, our bacon's ready. Alright, I'm just going to take this right off of our rack, put it on some paper towel or kitchen towel, whatever your preferred term is, and allow them to dry off. Go ahead and pat this off, like such, and then we're going to go ahead and chop it up. Alright, and this is what we're left with. I'll see you back in the tiny kitchen. Alright, now before we go ahead and add the bacon, I'm just going to use my immersion blender, and we're going to make everything nice and smooth and uniform. So here we go. And to that we're going to add all of our bacon. Give everything a quick stir. And return the lid. Now that our soup is basically finished, time to get started on our grilled cheese sandwich, or cheese toastie if you will, and I'll show you what we're doing. First of all, I've already pre-buttered my grill pan, so we will just turn that on medium heat. And while that's getting ready and melting, we need about 2 what I call pats of cream cheese per sandwich. We're making 2 sandwiches. Alright, there we go. Alright, that butter is nice and ready. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do both sides actually, because why not? Unfortunately, I have to grill one at a time, but no worry. Alright, so directly onto that, we're going to add our pats of cream cheese right in the middle. And then on top of that, we're going to add our shredded cheese mixture. Next, let's go ahead and put the lid on. Put that right in the middle. Turn the heat up. Give that a light press. And that's perfect. Okay, one is done. Let's get the other one. Okay, turn that down. Alright, and we assemble in the same process. And I'm going to do something a little bit different with this one, because this one's spilling out some cheese slightly, so we're just going to go ahead and melt that right onto one side. Now that our grilled cheese or cheese toasties are finished, all we have to do is plate these up and give it a try. So first, let's get some of our soup. That is looking gorgeous. Set that down. Then we're just going to drizzle in a little bit of heavy whipping cream. This is just for presentation, but it makes it look pretty. And there you have that. And then the last thing that we're going to do is, of course, I'm going to take a few pepitas or pumpkin seeds, and we're just going to sprinkle that right on top. And then let's try one of our sandwiches. Let's just see if we can get any cheese pull. Oh, look at that cheese pull. That is awesome. Let's give it a taste. That is delicious. I hope you enjoy this. Again, another one of my autumn favorites. This is a pumpkin bacon bisque soup with a nice gooey grilled cheese to go along with it. As always, thanks for tuning in. And this is Cameron Kirk Rush from
Tiny Kitchen Cooks.